Hello, Neil. Nice to meet you.
Hello, nice to meet you. Welcome to the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head. I'm Nasty Neal. I'm joined by Quarxx, director of Pandemonium, now on Arrow.
Thank you very much for hosting me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so for people not aware yet, can you give them an idea of what Pandemonium is? That might be hard to do.
But to summarize it, I would say that Pandemonium is a trip to hell. Exactly, a walk in the park, but in a fire inferno. It's a bad trip that is quite entertaining at the same time. It's about experiencing some existentialism pain. Yes, leaving the pain through the pain of others. That's what I
Was,
would say.
was there any event or something that happened that inspired you to write the story?
Yes, actually, there was quite a few things that lead me to that story. One of them was a personal story that happened to me 25 years ago because I had an accident, and to make a long story short, I drowned, and
Oh, wow.
I went into a coma, and then I woke up 4 days later in a white room, really thinking I was dead for at least a minute, and that's a long time, believe me. Before a nurse came into the room and explained me that actually I've made it. That was very miraculous. And that sort of inspired me at the beginning of the writing of Pandemonium, and I went back to that pretty painful experience, but at the same time quite intense. And I thought, wait, what about if we start a film? Guy wakes up and realizing after a few minutes that he is actually dead. But that was the root of that idea, is that personal experience.
Yeah. I don't know if someone you would talk about, but are you a religious person?
I'm not. I'm not actually. I'm not at all. I'm not even a believer. I'm French, so we are mostly agnostic here. I have doubts. I think believing in having certitude, absolute certitude on that level and that
Sure.
matter, I don't think that's very wise. So nobody knows exactly what's going on, but I'm sure that unfortunately we'll find it soon enough. So there's no rush. There's no rush. But no, I didn't want to give any spiritual or religious message. For me, that is an entertainment.
So, on that incident, you said like you're probably in physical pain, but what did you feel like? Were you afraid, like when you thought you'd passed away? Like what were your emotions like?
Oh yes, yes. When I realized that there was really no hope for me, and I was at the bottom of the water, that I remember very clearly. I went into a washing machine mode with all the waves coming up to me, and I was far away from the shore, and I knew it was really my last moment. And I was not afraid. I was really mad. I was really pissed off because I was 24, I think, and I'm thinking, damn, it's like I had so many things to go on and to leave and everything, and I really there was. For me, I considered that there was no chance, and so then I started breathing some water, and that was it. And yeah, I was pissed. That I remember, I was really mad.
Yeah, and there's some of that in the movie. Like, hey, I don't want to be dead. Like, how can I get back into my body here?
Exactly. That was my initial reaction. Not when I woke up though, because when I woke up, I was
You're
freaked
happy,
out.
right?
I'm thinking, wow, this. I was sort of happy to have my feelings and everything, and thinking, well, this is like the other world, but I just like feel the same. Until yeah, this nurse came onto the room and saved me from my delusion.
Yeah, that's interesting. I had I don't want to go into it, but I had several near death experiences several years ago when I was very sick, and some of the one was unconscious, like, and it was weird dreams, and it was unpleasant. But the other one, when I actually thought I was dying, and that they were taking me to the hospital, I was bleeding out, and it was a weird feeling of I was just very calm and accepting. I just thought this
Oh yeah.
this was over, and then
But
from other doctors, they told me that's actually a defense mechanism in your brain to keep you calm.
okay, well,
That is
it didn't work for me. That
right, right.
mechanism, that was not calm at all. I was just like I wanted to blow everything away, but I couldn't. I was underwear. But yeah, being mad is really the feeling that I remember from that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. So, casting the two characters at the beginning. So, Nathan, the Nathan character. How did you go about finding someone perfect for that role? Since it's mostly about him.
The casting process was really intense and quite long, because I really had in mind a specific character. I really knew what I wanted to give, the feeling that I wanted to give, and it was not very quick and not very easy. So we took like maybe 4 or 5, yeah, 5 or 6 months. I'd say 5 or 6 months of casting, and like meeting a lot of great comedians, but it was not always like that case. And then I met Arben, and I met Hugo, and it really clicked, and I thought they really matched together very well. They have a very different personality, and I think what they show on screen is from what I wrote 100%, but it does really match their own real personality. So I thought that worked really well, and it was really a blessing to be able to work with those two guys, because they make an incredible job. And it was very complicated for them, because they had to shoot. Well, you see the opening sequence, right? We were just being caught into that crazy snowstorm that we couldn't plan it. Actually, it was at the same time, it was really a blessing and a curse. It was totally a blessing for the movie, because, well, visually speaking, we couldn't expect anything better than that, to be honest. But we thought, yeah, it was during springtime, so everybody came up to that mountain wearing shorts and slippers, and all of a sudden chaos just strike on us. It was just in the mayhem, insane. And the film nearly stopped here, because we had to call some helicopters to get us down, because there was so many snow and everything.
Oh, wow.
And then all my team was freezing to death, and they were obviously not prepared for those conditions. And so Arben and Hugo had to stay all day like that, wearing just like nearly barely nothing, just and having those conversations. They had to feel very natural and very at ease. They couldn't feel I didn't want the audience to see and to feel that they were freezing to death, because they're dead. They're not supposed to be cold, right?
Yeah.
So they were their teeth were clapping and everything. So they between takes, they were like that, and then, okay, let's go. No, it was okay.
Yeah, that I actually have it in my notes. I was like, is this really snowing? Because I was like, I think that's real snow there, because you can usually tell, fake snow, and it accumulates while it's going, and it really adds a lot to the scene there.
It does. So that's what I'm saying, a curse and a blessing at the same time, because that also, I had to cut down a lot of shots that that we planned on doing, because everything that's supposed to be taking like 2 hours, it took us like 6 hours to do, because of the condition. So we had to cut down a lot of shots, but at the end, I'm very happy that it happened that way.
Yeah, even just the snow, like in their beards and stuff, I think adds a lot, especially when like, as you said, like they're supposed to be dead, so it shouldn't really bother them, the cold all over their face and stuff.
Exactly. No, exactly. So the sky was with me on that time, and it was good.
Yeah. You said about their interaction. How important is that to find not just two good actors, but people that have chemistry together? Because sometimes you can have two great actors, but they just don't have chemistry.
Right. That's right. I think that's really the secret of it, But there's not like one recipe to find those matching people. It's just, I'd say, luck, and also keep on looking and looking, and not stopping if you're not 100% satisfied. I think this is very important. I think also with the little girls and the monster, even though it's a monster and he is wearing prosthetic and everything, but it was a matchmaking between those two as well. And this is exactly what I'm looking for in a movie, is that everything clicks together, and you find it just not just natural, the interaction between the characters. So that's very important for me. And the preparation. So the preparation of the movie is one very important process. Casting, rehearsal, knowing each other, that the team really knows each other. They don't discover themselves just on the day of shooting. And I tried them to have a bond together, in order to be able to explore a little bit better and to interact better with each other. So yeah, I'm very meticulous on that level.
And you said about trying to cast a comedian. Why was it important that a comedian play that role?
Oh, you mean as like someone totally regular, like a
Well, you
non-comedian?
said like you were looking at some different comedians, and I saw that Hugo's a comedian, so or he does a lot of comedies. Like, why did you think that
Oh,
would work for the movie, like a
oh,
comedian actor?
sorry. When I mean comedian, I don't mean a comedian like that, because comedian in French, it means actor.
Oh, okay, all right,
So no,
yeah,
I'm not. Comedian has nothing to do with comedy, or
all
well,
right,
at
fair
least
enough.
in my mind.
Yeah,
So I was. He's not doing comedy actually. He
yeah,
has
that's why
a.
I was a little confused there. So
No.
no, I
Sorry
understand
for
now.
my,
Yeah, no, no,
my
that's
English.
fine.
I'm French. So I can get a
Yeah,
little bit rusty sometimes.
no, no,
But
your
Hugo
English is
is.
way better than my French. So
Thank you very much. Hugo is playing in The Walking Dead right now, so he's a zombie.
Mhm.
So he's just following his just following his character from Pandemonium, and then he become totally undead.
yeah, yeah,
So
you could see it as a sequel, I guess. As
right,
his
right.
body, we see where his soul goes, and we see where his
Ex-
body ends up. Yeah.
exactly. I think they should
How?
mention
Yeah. So,
that.
how about casting the child actor, the girl? Was that hard to find because it is like
Very,
dark material?
very hard, very difficult because, of course, I wanted a little girl that, well, at the time of the shooting, I think she was 7.5 or 8, like reaching 8. That's it. And of course, well, she has to deal with quite dark material and dark environment. And well, I've seen so many little girls, so countless of them. And well, either it's like the parents were freaking out, or I mean, after the play, it was not good enough for most of the part. It was mostly like children, taking their phrase or their words, but I mean, there was something off with it. And after months and months, then we finally find Manon, and it was really also a blessing to find this little girl because she was so talented. She has such a great dark humor, and she was giving me advice on the set on how a little girl should talk. She said, Quarxx, I'm a little girl. Let me write it down again, like, your part. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna write it again. And it was great, actually, it was very intense and very interesting to work with her. Yeah. So
Yeah, she's
yeah.
great in the movie. I saw some photos where it was you, her, and the actor who plays Tony were at a festival together. So
That's right. That's right. At L'Étrange Festival.
yeah. So so she was allowed to see the finished movie then?
Oh yes. No worries. Because the atmosphere on the set was very cool and very chill, and we had a lot of fun. And it was, we're taking some high ground on the darkness of the film. She didn't feel it that way at all. We
Yeah.
were constantly laughing with her, and some people were taking great care of her. She had a teacher on set and everything, so she was just perfectly fine, and she was not harmed psychologically in any way.
Well, that's good to know. Yeah. So, the actor played Tony, Carl LaFerret. I looked him up because I thought he was really good in the movie. I was like, interested, and I found he has a music video on social media. People should check out.
Oh, he
Was
does.
he anyone you worked with before, or like, how did you find him?
No, but Carl is in France. He is specialized in playing monsters. He did a lot of creature films where you
Mhm.
don't really recognize him as because he has so many stuff on his face every time. But he has a very interesting body. The guy is 2 meters and 10. I don't know if you understand meters or whatever metric system, but that's really, really big, really
Yeah,
high,
yeah.
and he's very thin. He's very thin at the same time, so he has a gesture and a look that is quite striking. So and he knows how to move his body and everything. The way it's just perfect to play those kind of roles. So he's also he's playing at the theater, on stage a lot. But Monster is really his thing. So yes, that's why we went
Yeah,
to
and he
we
does
went
a
to.
great job. I think some people think just because you're under a mask or something, you could put anybody in it, but that's not
No,
true. Like, there's a
no,
lot
no,
of
not at all,
physical
not at
acting,
all.
and he's a good actor, I think.
Of course, and I really wanted someone to be able to give emotion to the character of Tony, even though he had all those prosthetic in the face, and this is very challenging, very difficult for a comedian. And I think it does it very well because he does give emotion, and you can feel that the guy is just not just a plastic doll or anything, but he's giving something to the audience. So that's yeah.
Yeah, no, you feel really. I think he's one of the most sympathetic characters in the movie when I was watching it. Up
He'll
until
be he'll be
I don't want to
he'll be
spoil
happy to
anything.
know that.
Yeah, yeah, he's great. And who did the effects and the makeup?
FX and makeup was done by Olivier Alfonso from Studio 69, and those guys are really one of, I think, the best in Europe, and maybe even bigger than Europe. He just won the French equivalent to the Oscar for best SFX. He did the SFX for Titan. From Julia Ducournau, Titan, I'm sure you heard of it, and he's really an artist. It's absolutely amazing what he can achieve. He've done the SFX for Under Paris, that the thing
Oh
that is
yeah,
buzzing
yeah, the shark
Netflix.
movie. That yeah,
Yeah,
people.
the
I haven't
shark
watched it
movie.
yet, but people are really liking it right now.
Yeah, that's I'm not sure about that, but maybe it's very cleaving. Some people will love it, some people hate it. I'm
Yeah,
not sure,
yeah.
but yeah, he did this. So those people are really really talented, and so yeah, he's been helping me for quite some times now, and I love working with him. Yeah.
Hmm. So when you work with a makeup artist like that, how much input do you have, like, on the look of Tony and Bobby later in the movie?
A lot. We actually does talk about this in the Blu-ray and DVD. There's a bonus where we talk together on how we created the monster, and so that was a lot of talks before the creation, and I had a pretty specific idea on what I wanted. So we start drawing some characters, and we start, discussing, arguing, and exchanging point of views and opinion. And then after we went to sculpture, and even on that level also we worked together giving inputs, and at the end we came up with Tony the Monster, which is exactly the guy I had in mind. So I was really happy with the result. I think it did something really striking here.
Yeah, 100%. So how about figuring out how you're gonna shoot Hell? What Hell's gonna look like? Like, how do you come to that decision? And also,
I don't
not film it where it's gonna cost $100 million or something.
well, I didn't have that money, so
Yeah,
yeah. That's also one story that drive me a little bit to the Pandemonium story, is because one of my first movie when I was 6 or maybe 7 was Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. I don't know if you've seen that
yeah,
film, but I wanted to pay actually. Well, when I've seen that film when I was 6, that the film totally freaked me out. I couldn't sleep like for a month after that, because it was quite intense, quite gory, and very quite extreme for my very young age. So that traumatized me 100%, and I loved every second of it. I loved being traumatized that way. And I really remember saying to myself, well, this is exactly what I want to do with my life. I want to become a storyteller, and this is the kind of story I want to tell the audience. And since then, I wanted to become a filmmaker since I've seen this movie. So I paid a tribute to Lucio Fulci's The Beyond with my depiction of hell, because I was really inspired by his vision of hell in The Beyond, that I transferred to Pandemonium as a way of sort of signing the contract that I've made with myself being a child, and so I was walking around and I'm thinking, damn, I'm on the set of The Beyond sort of right now. And that was really cool.
yeah. No, it
and
comes
and
off great.
yeah, no, and also I really enjoyed his depiction of hell, not going into this fiery inferno that everybody was thinking at the time, but doing it like the big nothing, the desert of dry land, a wasteland of nothing.
Mhm.
And I thought that was very clever and more stressful, than the normal kind of way of seeing
Yeah, and it
hell.
goes along with some of the dialogue near the end, just about like just despair or just never-ending despair, and I think that really gets that across.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, by the way, were your parents okay with you watching? They were fine. I grew up with a mom who showed me all kinds of horror movies. That's why I like horror movies. But were your parents okay with you watching poultry movies at 6?
Well, no, they didn't know about it.
Okay.
They didn't know. I think they were not really okay with it. They started to be okay when I reached like 10, 11 or 12, so they let me see The Exorcist and stuff like that, and Chainsaw Massacre and stuff like that. But I was sneaky at the time, so I was like being the wall during the night, taking the VHS from some places, putting on the VCR, and that was it.
Yeah. I also liked what you said about you love the feeling of being, I think any kind of art that evokes some kind of emotion, even if that's like a negative emotion, is doing its job. It doesn't always have to be makes you feel happy or good, but if it makes you feel anything, I think that's a good
Of course, I
that's what
agree.
you want from any kind of art, movie or painting point of view.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are those
Absolutely.
your paintings behind you?
Yes, I'm doing I'm working on an exhibition that I'm going to do in September. So now I'm working. Yeah,
Oh wow,
you can.
awesome.
Yeah,
Do you
thank you
ever
very much.
do you ever like draw or paint like some of the anything like not almost like storyboard any of your movies? Like this is how I would like it to look.
No, actually, I don't storyboard my movie because I think it's a little bit too stiff, to storyboard. But I work a lot with my GP before the shooting and preparation. We work months on every. So it's the same process that it went with Olivier with the monster. It's like I know what I want. So and as I come also from a artist background as a painter, I like to play with the light. I like to tell a story on a single frame, just by placing, the things together. So yeah, this is very important for me, but I don't go as far as doing a storyboard because I also like the possibility of improvising if I want to, and also we know each other very well with my DP, so we just think we don't need it. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you the festival run, what's that like to watch your movie, with an audience?
But it was great for the first 6 months because I was staying in at some point I was like, oh my God, I cannot watch my film anymore because I've seen it
Right, right.
2,000 times.
Yeah.
But nearly I've done nearly a year of showcasing it everywhere, doing the premiere, doing the festival run and everything. I just finished with Greece a few weeks ago,
Oh
and I
wow.
started last July. So that was a very long run, and it was constant and very intense. So of course it was super great being able to share such a long work that's been very, like sometimes very, very complicated to pull off. And then at the end, you finally able to share your film and share it with an audience, and you being there in the movie theater on the big screen. And of course, yes, it's really, really cool to feel that way. Yes, of course, and being able to share also the feeling and the thoughts with the audience by doing Q&As, and having the vibe by being in the theater, having the vibe of the audience, like, because they
Yeah.
don't always react the same way at the same times, different depending on the countries. So I think that's very interesting for a filmmaker. That's why I stay at every time they show the film, I stay until the end.
Yeah.
I don't
And
care.
that's interesting too. You said about different, different places you're at, different cultures. But Pandemonium deals with universal theme. Everyone can relate to death, and is there an afterlife? And the idea, the concept of heaven and hell. So I think
That's right.
everyone can at least understand that part. Relate to that.
True, true, true.
So when you said different countries do react differently, like what do you mean by that? Are some countries they find it more humor in it, or like
Yeah,
just
yeah,
how do they
yeah,
react?
yes, yes, like that, yes, yes. Some people, well, some countries, some shows, the audience is sometimes laughing a lot. They catch the little jokes that I put here and then, and in some other, nothing. They don't get it at all, and sometimes they really freak out from in some little, like gore sequence, and sometimes they don't. Well, it's always very different, and people get the movie on a very different levels as well. And it's yes, it's for me, it's very interesting to analyze and to experience that. Yes.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. You don't want to pick out favorites, but are there any festivals that like you would say like you had the best experience at?
I've done so much, so it's very difficult to choose because every festival had its own DNA, and they have their own highlights, and I love them all for different reasons, to be honest. And I don't think I had any bad experience. They were all really cool, and I met very different, crazy, interesting people. But on that festival run, I'd say one of my best festivals, to be honest, is Sundance. I really like Sundance, but I was not on Sundance with that movie. I was with my previous one. So, but on the one, yeah, I would say Trieste was really cool. The NIF in Neuchâtel also was really cool. L'Étrange Festival in Paris also, because it's my hometown, was really cool as well. That Grimfest in London also, well, not in London, it was in Manchester. Fright Fest, of course, Price that big
Oh
heart
yeah.
to Fright. I had my premiere, English premiere at Fright Fest on the big screen in Leicester Square. So that was amazing. The day of my birthday on top of it, so that was the cherry on the cake. And yeah, so many of them. I had the blessing for that whole year. It was really just cool experience after another.
Yeah. That's where I met the man behind the curtain here. Justin was at Freight Fest. But
Oh, okay.
yeah.
And
So,
Screamfest also in LA. That's where I met Justin
oh
also
yeah.
live. Screamfest
Oh
was really.
yeah. Actually, so I don't know much about me, but so my film premiered at Fright Fest, and we had the U.S. premiere at Screamfest. And the people I made the movie with, Michael and Sophia, they had mentioned that they had met you at Screamfest. They played the year after I was there,
Okay,
so I
all
wasn't there,
right.
unfortunately.
I
So
oh well.
you you mentioned a physical release, a Blu-ray. Do you know when that will be coming out?
Oh, but it came out months
Oh, it
ago.
did. Okay. Oh,
Yeah, it
I'm
came out.
sorry. I should have known this stuff, but yeah.
No worries, no worries. It's
Same day as the streaming.
it's distributed by Arrow, and yeah,
Oh yeah,
you
because
can all.
Arrow, they would stream it and have the Blu-ray. Yeah.
Yes. It's available on their website and some other places on Amazon also, and pretty much everywhere.
Yeah, you mentioned some specials on there. Like what are some, because Arrow really goes all out with their releases. So I assume there's a lot of stuff
Yeah.
on
They
that.
did a great job. They did a really great job on the making of that Blu-ray, and they put a lot of bonus for the fans. And it's I mean it's always cool to have a physical, to have something
Yeah.
physical out of movie for the cinephilic people. So that I think really they went really far in the art direction, and it was just beautiful.
Hmm. And I don't want to give away much of the movie, but the quarantine scene's great, and just the idea of like he's going to be here for this amount of time. And I imagine watching that. It's obviously great to watch it streaming or on Blu-ray, especially with a big TV. But I imagine watching that with an audience on the big screen was
That's
really cool
always the best.
experience.
That's the way to see the movies is at the theater.
Yeah. And since how are horror movies taken in France? Are they popular there?
Yes and no. Yes, they are, because there's a huge fans of horror movie. The problem in France is to produce a genre film and horror film. It's just nearly as impossible. Or you have to be very specific. You have to be a very normal genre
Right.
film. Very specific code, very specific tags, specific label, and you cannot be too dark. It has to be federation. You can bring your family, and just have a little scare, but not too much. And that's not the kind of film I want to make. This is like popcorn movie for me, and I don't like it. I don't like popcorn movie. You can either hate my movie, that's really cool with me, or you can either really like it. It's just I don't really like. It's like, well, yeah, okay, it's just quickly seen, quickly
Yeah.
forgotten.
I think that's most
You know?
movies I like. It's something that either people really love or hate. Not people are gonna be like, whatever. It's just there.
Yes, exactly. And that's really much what I got on with Pandemonium. There's huge, strong debate sometimes, so that's enjoyable for me. But yeah, the really big problem in France is producing those kind of film. There's no distributors that want to take the risk, and there's no producer who wants to get involved. Even though we are winning best script everywhere for like 5 years with one of my projects, we still cannot find anyone to produce it in France. So that's a bummer. Yeah, that's very hardcore.
Yeah. So your last film had Melanie Gatos in. I just want to mention because I'm going to be interviewing her soon. What was she like to work with?
She was so good, so great. I mean, finding it, yeah, meeting Melanie was a total chance and a total blessing for me. It took me a year and a half to find her. My casting just lasted a year and a half, and I say I will not make that movie if I don't find the perfect person. And most of my producers say, "Yeah, but the perfect person doesn't exist." And say, "Yes, she does exist. And I'm gonna find her." And I found Melanie, and she just blew my mind, and she's just holding the movie on her shoulder. the lead character, but working with Melanie is really really cool. So and she I think that was her first feature film, so she gave everything that she had, and she's very sensitive, and she's such a great comedian. I mean, I knew it was her first experience, and I wanted to work with her so much. So there was no casting or whatsoever. When I sent her the script, she said yes. I said, you're in. And I said, okay, we'll see it we'll see after how it goes. But it went so well, and it was just amazing working with Melanie. A very very good experience, and I'm very proud of that. My movie was her first movie.
Yeah. I haven't talked to her. I've talked to her online about the interview, and she seems like a really good person. So I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah. Very fun, a bit crazy at the same time, and very smart, and perfect. That's a unique person character.
So Pandemonium, you get through Arrow. You can get the physical release. You can get Arrow streaming and watch it on there. And how could people follow you and Pandemonium to see what you're up to?
Come to my Instagram. I'm having a lot of release of everything. It's Quarxx_Arter. Arter. Arter. I don't know how to pronounce it in English, but yes, Quarxx Arter. Please come in, and well, you see some news. You'll see my paintings and my upcoming movies and everything that little information. Yeah. Facebook also. I'm on Facebook because I'm getting old, so I'm still on Facebook.
I am as well, so I understand. But
all right.
Yeah. So and well, you said future movies. So do you have anything in the works now?
Yes. I'm starting my upcoming feature film. We're starting to make it happen in September, and we're gonna shoot it in March. It's called Les Âmes en peine. I still don't have an English title, but it's going to be a very, very crazy, very wild, very intense. And I'm very happy with the script that we came up with. It's going to be a very unique movie. I'm super excited about this one.
All right, cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it. And I really dug Pandemonium, not because I'm talking to you. I thought it was a really interesting movie, great performances, everything looked great. So it was something I was into.
Thank you very much, Neil. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Justin.
Have a great one.
Thanks.
I'm just going, Justin, because I have a meeting right now at 6. So I'm just going.
All good to go.
Thank you very much. See you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.